Welcome, everybody, to the American Space Museum. I'm Marquette, and we're so glad that you're staying star curious today on Stay Curious. And I say, pack up the babies and grab the old ladies. Let everyone know Stargazer MarQ has a total eclipse show this Sunday. And my baby is my granddaughter. Meet McKinley and Marquette. Hi, McKinley. Say hi up there, girl. Okay. Well, my daughter Jessica and Ryan Kendrick are here at the American Space Museum. And of course, I can't resist having my granddaughter on Stay Curious here with you all. All you grandparents out there know what that feels like. And she's going to see her first eclipse of the moon in a week from, well, this Sunday coming up. And we're going to talk all about it. I'm going to have Jessica come over here and take her daughter. All right, and we're going to tell you where and why and how you can photograph this eclipse from your backyard. Come here, honey, put your face in there. There's the three of us there, okay? All right, good, good, good. Jessie knows that I'm a lunatic when it comes to the moon, all right?
Yep.
And we hope that you all enjoy a clear Sunday because you're going to want to see this eclipse. It's going to be the last one in 4 or 5 years. It's at a reasonable time. And behind me is the photo illustration that it starts at about 10:30 is when you're going to see the first bite out of the moon taken at night. And the moon is entirely engulfed by the Earth's shadow at about 11:30. And midnight is, if you want to set your alarm and go out and look, we should have the ruddy, what they call blood moon, because the red can take on a blood color. Excuse me. And that red is all about the atmosphere of the Earth as light is filtered through our atmosphere as the sun is blocking basically the Earth is blocking the sun as viewed from the moon. All right. And then the eclipse is all over by 1 o'clock. All right. So if you really want to see the meat of this thing, get up about 11:30, and totality will be shortly around midnight, and you can go to bed after seeing it. But I'm going to show you a little bit why this happens and some ways to take some pictures of this from your backyard. Let's check out a couple things here. Here is our MIM of the total lunar eclipse, as this is Eastern Daylight Time. So the penumbra is the little light area of a shadow. As you look at yourself on the sidewalk projecting a shadow, there's actually kind of a lighter invisible shadow outside the dark umbra area, which is Latin for dark. But you want to be prepared, and here I am, January 20th, 2019, when we had the last total eclipse of the sun, or the moon, I mean, and I'm going to show you pictures. All the pictures that you see here today are photographs that I took of the 2019 eclipse. And because it's going to be after 11 o'clock at night, the moon's really going to be high overhead. As you can see, my telescope and my head and binoculars and cameras all looking straight overhead, which is difficult to kind of observe, but it's because you've got to crane your neck so much, but it gets the clearest part of the sky as you're looking through less atmosphere. So I just want to remind you all, get in your backyard, like this is my backyard, enjoy some snacks. The red light, why do I have the red light? Because red light does not make my pupils contract after they dilate. And you know that your eyes always dilate in the dark. That's a human condition. Automatically, your eyes start opening up your pupils to see more in a dark room. You all know that when you go to bed at night, you flip out the light, you roll in the bed, you don't see anything for about 30 seconds. And 2 minutes later, wow, everything in the room, you can read the books on the shelves, everything, as your eyes have adapted to the dark. Well, as I'm looking at dials on the camera and moving telescopes around, you want the red light. Though it's bright and it's the moon, it's easier on you at night instead of the high contrast of white light. I say it's the moon or planets they don't bother you too much. But it's reading those star charts and looking at a bright white light really messes you up. Well, here's some photos I took of this eclipse with a 200 millimeter lens, all right? Not much magnification. These are blown up a little bit. To explain to you that if you want to take photos with your camera, and everyone's got digital cameras, you can see your results right on the back of the camera. You probably want to set your sensitivity of your camera for 400, all right? The higher the number, the more sensitive it is to light. So if you set it on 1,000, you will have less exposure time because it'd be twice as fast, so to speak, or sensitive, your CCD chip on your camera. But 400 is kind of a good middle road for a lot of this stuff. And you see the 3 pictures I've taken there are, there and above there are different phases of this eclipse that's going to start at about 10:30 at the bottom. And then at the top is a picture that I took before totality. And all these are about 500th of a second with the f-stop at about f5.8, which is, to photographers, open up the lens. It could be 2.8 or 3.8, but 5.8 is, don't make it f8. Make it about f5.8 or 3.8, somewhere in there if you can. But these are all 50th of a second exposures. The one in the middle right, the big one, is a 1 second exposure of the image at the upper right, where you don't see any of the moon at all. You just see like a crescent moon because that's the shadow of the Earth, and the curve of the Earth proves that the Earth is round, by the way. Well, that's the same picture taken at 1 second that I took at 500th of a second. So you want to play around with exposures. And as I took a longer exposure, it showed the reddish ruddiness that was coming on before totality of the Earth's shadow. And you see the dark maria that you can't see in the other photos. So very important, particularly with a camera where you got 2,000 images. Some of you even got 20,000 images on your camera. Burn the images, take different exposures, and learn how to do that on your camera with your M or manual settings. Here again, 3 phases of the eclipse. All right, actually, these 2 right here are the same phase where I've taken 500th of a second, maybe 125th of a second, and then I threw a totality picture in there to show you, see the upper left-hand corner, the light part is kind of bluish, like a blue haze. That's an atmospheric phenomenon. And I want to say hi to Marty Winkle, my co-producer. We're up to over 560 episodes together of helping you stay curious on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Spotify. And Marty, you see that little bluish tint up there from the red. And this is probably about a 1 second exposure, but that one's through a telescope, about 2,000 millimeter. And we'll see some other pictures here of that. Again, things that you can do with your own camera. Again, a telephoto lens, 125th to 500th of a second. And then when it gets closer to totality, all right, from midnight on, all right, throw in 1/2 second to 2 second exposures because you never know what it'll look like. And one of the things that you want to do is try to put something in the foreground of your picture, a statue, a palm tree. This is a poor attempt at a palm tree. All right, 3 different pictures. Left is 2 and bottom is another, the one I like the best. The palm tree on the right, I activated the flash or strobe on the camera to put it in there. So you can try all kinds of techniques. Hopefully you got some ambient light from a street light or something that'll put something in. But there you see a palm tree, it's moving in the wind, and that's maybe a 1 second exposure with a telephoto lens. Here again, through a telescope now, where I'm using the telescope power to make it be like a 2,000 millimeter lens. You buy an adapter for that. So again, 400 ISO, 1 second exposure at midnight on Sunday night will get you this kind of ruddiness, or the blood of the blood moon. And then there is a third of a second at the top, taken at just moments apart. The third of a second and the 2 second exposure on the right is the moon just about to disappear. All right. And when you take a slow exposure, it looks like a crescent phase. And that's this. And then I took 2 second exposures, and it shows you all of the reddishness of the Earth's shadow being filtered on this. Yeah, what happened to my meme on the? Oh, that's coming up here on the end. Right. Okay, we had my pictures. There is one of the best photos I've ever taken of a total eclipse of the moon, and I've photographed 20 or 25 of them in my lifetime for sure. And as I'm going to show you in a chart in a minute, the moon doesn't go through the exact center of the Earth's shadow, which is the edges don't have as much color as maybe the center does. And that's where we got this beautiful bluish cast over here on this side. But this is not anything to do with the moon itself, all right? This is all the atmosphere and the Earth's shadow. And I'm going to show you this. Where can we see this eclipse, all right? Sunday night in the dark area, all of North America and South America and Canada and half of Africa, but the eclipse will be at moonset over Europe. In Italy, they will not see it. All right. Hi to Hazel Banks. Marty Hazel's in Italy as we speak. One of our great supporters of our museum, Hazel C. Cack Banks, secretary to the Apollo astronauts. She's going to be in Europe on Sunday, and she will not see the eclipse as you see the boot of Italy there. The moon will have already set. So this is going to be a spectacular event. And this happens only once or twice a year on the Earth, or usually twice a year. We have two eclipses of the sun followed by eclipses of the moon. Other times, the moon is too high or above the sun. All right. In the daytime sky, it's above or below it, so you don't see an eclipse of the sun. And eclipse of the moon, it's above or below the cone of shadow that we throw into space. Everything throws a shadow into space or on the ground, okay, on Earth from an illuminated area there. So this is a widely viewed, but the next solar eclipse is going to be in November. I'm sorry, the next lunar eclipse is going to be November 8th, but it doesn't start until 3 in the morning. And it sets after totality begins. So it's not a very favorable eclipse. It's 3 in the morning till sunrise. Not many people enjoy getting up and seeing that. So you're going to want to lose a little sleep. If you're an early bird and go to bed at 10 o'clock, set that alarm for 12 o'clock and get up, and you're going to see the blood red moon. Why does all this happen? All right. Again, imagine that inner circle is the shadow of the Earth being cast out into space. Because we are round, that shadow has a contour shape. I am a human being with arms and legs. My shadow looks like a human being when it's thrown on the sidewalk. And there again is the people watching it. Here is the maximum. Again, this is Central Time for you people watching in Central Time Zone. The partial eclipse is going to begin there it ends at 12:55. Yeah, when the moon rises, of course, on the West Coast, it will be not completely overhead like it is here on the East Coast. So it begins at 9:27, but the real maximum eclipse is at 11:11, which is 12:11 here Eastern Standard Time. Now, a little bit of physics here. At the top is the lunar eclipse, where we have the Earth is between the sun and the moon. A solar system happens when the moon is between the sun and the Earth. And if ever the sun got between the Earth and the moon, that would be an apocalypse, okay? A completely impossible thing to happen because we would all be burning alive. So, once again to review, there's our big sun, 93 million miles away. The Earth throws a shadow into space. The moon occasionally most of the time is above or below that shadow. But 2 times a year, it goes right through that shadow. I'm afraid, Ophelia. But you know what? That reminds me that there's all kinds of uh, uh, virtual parties going on, and you can go to planetariums that'll be broadcasting it. Go to spaceweather.com, and also space.com will have links to that, Ophelia. So Ashley Kendrick, Grandma, you've got your son here. Why don't you pan over there, Marty? Show Ryan's here. There's your mom, Ryan. He's there. Not only a talented guitarist, but he's over there sketching some stuff. And hey, McKinley, hey, stay curious, girl. All right. Thank you, Marty. And so we're glad that Ashley's watching, and we welcome her to come to the Space Coast. We'll fix you up there, you and Brian. And we've got Dolores Ann Vaughn is watching. Thank you. Of course, Dave Stangy's up there in Michigan. Gary Gerald's watching. Robert Law in Scotland. Hope you enjoyed my grandbaby. Larry Pushkar, he's another Wolverine up there in Michigan. So glad, I'm sure, that the snow's melted. And by the way, I saw Dave Stangy went to the the Henry Ford Museum outside of Detroit somewhere. And man, they've got a lot of astronomy stuff there. Not astronomy, a couple of space things there. That definitely needs to be on your bucket list, the Henry Ford Museum. And Esau Na, thank you for watching. And of course, we've got Tom and Mark Usiak, our unparalleled launch photographers of the shuttle era. And we're so grateful that they have done so many good things already to our Space Museum, including they want to have the museum be the warehouse for their excellent photography. And we're going to do some great things with that, Usiak brothers. Yeah, Marty.
So Larry Puskar, audio is good. It must be on his side.
It must be on his side?
Yeah. Audio's good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
He lost audio.
Oh, he did lose audio? Oh, okay.
It has to be on his side.
Oh, all right. Yep. Thank you very much there. We did have audio problem with our guest last week, and we're going to work on that. But thank you all for bearing with our little hiccups along the way here, because it's Marty and me have done this for 2 years. We've increased our game. We've reached out to everybody. Our YouTube channel's rocking because we can now monetize it. So tell your friends to watch us on YouTube and Facebook and Spotify and Twitch. Like, share, follow, subscribe. And best of all, we'd love to see you here in our Space Museum in downtown Titusville. After all, we're sponsored by Hyatt Place Hotel, where I was at today. Where my daughter stayed at. Marty's had some of his family members stay at the Hyatt Place. So we're grateful for Brian and Dana for supporting Stay Curious in this manner. So, all right, baby. We're going to take you all out. And like I said, Saturday, pack up the babies, grab the old ladies, and get out in your backyard and watch the celestial fireworks of a beautiful total lunar eclipse. So, and of course, we're going to talk a little bit about it Friday this week, as we've got a whole slate of stargazes planned, as well as ways to help you stay curious throughout the rest of the week. I'm Mark Marquette, and we hope to see you soon in our museum. To bridge the space between us.